Decomposition, computational thinking, topic 1. Learning objectives. Identify the term decomposition. Understand why it is important to decompose a problem. Be able to decompose a problem provided using correct techniques. What is decomposition? Decomposition is one of the 4 cornerstones of computer science. It involves breaking down a complex problem or system into smaller parts that are more manageable and easier to understand. The smaller parts can then be examined and solved, or designed individually, as they are simpler to work with. Why is decomposition important? If a problem is not decomposed, it is much harder to solve. Dealing with many different stages at once is much more difficult than breaking a problem down into a number of smaller problems and solving each one at a time. Breaking the problem down into smaller parts means that each smaller problem can be examined in more detail. Why is decomposition important? Similarly, trying to understand how a complex system works is easier using decomposition. For example, understanding how a bike works is more straightforward if the whole bike is separated into smaller parts and each part is examined to see how it works in more detail. Decomposition in practice. We do many tasks on a daily basis without even thinking about decomposing them, such as brushing our teeth. Example 1. Brushing our teeth. To decompose the problem of how to brush our teeth, we would need to consider which toothbrush to use, how long to brush for, how hard to press the brush on our teeth, what toothpaste to use. Decomposition in practice. Example 2. Solving a crime. It is only normally when we are asked to do a new or more complex task that we start to think about it in detail, to decompose the task. Imagine that a crime has been committed. Solving a crime can be a very complex problem, as there are many things to consider. For example, a police officer would need to know the answers to a series of smaller problems. What crime was committed? When the crime was committed? Where the crime was committed? What evidence there is? If there were any witnesses? If there have recently been any similar crimes? The complex problem of the committed crime has now been broken down into simpler problems that can be examined individually in detail.